You don't need your wheelchair because my kid wants it. Hi, here's some backstory. By the way, sorry for bad English. I'm Dutch, and this happened in Dutch. Laugh out loud. So, when the moment came, I lost my right leg and got a prosthetic one. I was in the hospital quite some time and I had to learn to walk properly again. Because the hospital was literally full and people were on the waiting list, I told the doctor I could offer my place for someone who actually needs it. The doctor was really proud of me. We made an agreement that I should go once a week to a center where they do that kind of stuff. I was in a wheelchair because walking was really hard since I was in the hospital for a long time, so my left leg was really weak. This is where the story starts. So together with some friends and Nerf guns, we walk in the park. It was quite busy because it's summer. A lot of people were picnicking, and I noticed that I heard one kid saying that he would like to ride my wheelchair. I didn't really matter this, so we could just went further along. So at the middle of the park, I went out and take a little hike. The first time I walked out through the hospital, we're in the center. So this was the first time outside. So I stood up with the help of my friends, and with some crutches, we walked. No one watched the wheelchair, and like a really slow walk later, we went back and only to see, yes, you'd probably already expected, it was gone! And I already knew who it was. So we went over there, and the conversation goes as following. Sorry, miss, but that's my wheelchair. Can I get it back? But you can walk! I was kind of offended. Yes, I can walk, but not for long. My left leg was getting tired and my arms too. Yes, still trying to stay formal and easy, but not for long. I just came from the We too! Actually not. Her kid was fine. Their two kids were looking kind of ashamed as she said that, but they were completely intact. No, actually, your kids are completely fine. Stop talking bullcrap and give him back his wheelchair. My kid deserves to sit in it. He really wanted it, and because you can walk, you don't need it. Friend 2 starts to aim his Nerf gun. What the oof are you doing? Just give me back my wheelchair. Then the dad kicks into action. What the heck is going on? EM tells her twisted way of the story. That's not even true. Listen, kid, let my son play with your wheelchair as I see you clearly don't need it. Friend 2 slowly tries to snatch it away, and now the fun part of the story starts. The kid started crying when one of my friends took the wheelchair, and the EM storms at him like crazy. My friends start shooting at her with their bigger magazines, 30 bullets in them, and she goes mental. It sounded like a demon came out of her. I started to struggle away, and my friends protected me with their Nerf guns. After that, we never saw them again, and I got my wheelchair back, plus some heavy entertainment. By the way, it's like half a year ago, and I wrote this with my two friends, and we laughed at it. I don't need the wheelchair anymore, and I'm able to walk freely. I still don't understand why there were people in the world thinking that everything they want belongs to them. And please, I'm begging you, treat people with wheelchairs or crutches as an extension of their body, and not something you can take if they left it. Thanks. End of story. Edit. Thanks for all the nice comments and upvotes. Okay, guys, I thought that was pretty cool. I liked that one. I hope you guys enjoyed that entitled Parents. Okay, I really don't get, why if someone obviously is disabled and you just come up and they're getting out with their friends, obviously needing help, going up and taking a little hike, you just see your kid going over to take it, and you're like, oh, that's fine. He can have the wheelchair. He obviously doesn't need it. when he can hardly walk with crutches. People that can see that and really just don't care about it are very dumb and need to pay attention. Entitled parent demands I stop drawing in my own home. A little context. My mother ran a daycare for single parents out of her home. She ran it until I turned 18. She charged very little compared to our daycares because she wanted to help out people who were struggling. We had all kinds of people's kids in there, and most of them were great. Sometimes I was a little annoyed at constantly having a lot of random new kids in the house, but I managed. My family's religious, as I am, and I have respect for all religions, but one of the parents whose 2 girls we took care of was fanatically even more religious than us. She'd believe any conspiracy theory when it came to evil things. She wouldn't let her kids watch any films with talking animals because she said it was witchcraft, nor let them have dolls because they were idols. Though despite how careful she was keeping her kids away from evil spirits, she had a ridiculously poor judgment when it came to men. It would marry them within months of meeting them. Then divorced when she realized she'd brought some creeper into the home and put her kids in danger. I'll refer to her as Entitled Mom. Now, I really loved to draw, and I'd finally settled on a half anime esque style. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. That worked well for me. There isn't a day I don't draw. It's everything to me. I was carrying a simple drawing of Kenshin. Hope I pronounced that correctly. I'm just going to call this RK. Through the house on my way to my room as Entitled Mother was coming to pick her kids up in the evening, and she saw it. I showed her what I'd drawn when she asked to see, and she flipped. Now it's been years, so this is a sum up of what has been said. Is that anime? Anime is evil, has evil spirits attached to it. It's just my drawing style. It's fine. I drew Kenshin. He's a swordman that protects people. He's a good guy. No, anime is evil. You can't draw that anymore. I don't want the evil spirits to come out and get attached to my kids. There aren't any evil spirits attached to this. I'm not even drawing evil things. No, you can't draw that around my kids anymore. I don't even show it to your kids. It's not evil. It's just an art style from Japan. No, it has evil spirits. You have to stop drawing it. After that, I quit trying to argue and stayed quiet, walking away. Spent a good chunk of time trying to convince my mom that anime was evil, and that my art had spirits attached to it, and that she didn't want me to draw art like that anymore in my own house. It made my mom a little wary of anime, but otherwise she shrugged it off and asked me to make sure Entitled Mother didn't see any of my art laying around, which I did, but not before drawing a picture of Jesus in full anime style and leaving it out for Entitled Mother to see. I'll draw what I want in my own house, Entitled Mother. Jeez. Okay, I honestly still don't get people like this. Okay, you don't like that kind of drawing. Okay, then just stay away from him. Say, hey, I don't like that kind of drawing, so can you just keep it away from me? I'm sure he would have said, sure. But you know what you came up to say? She came up to say and said, hey, that's evil. I don't want you drawing that in your own house. And this kid's just really funny. He comes up and purposely does that just so she can see it. I really don't get people like this. It's his house. If you're going to get mad at it, then why don't you just stay away from him? Why don't you not bring your kids there? And if you have to bring your kids there, why don't you just stay away from him? Gosh, these people are dumb. They need to pay attention. My dad punched a psycho entitled parents in the face. at bottom note. This is a long story, so please bear with me. Some of the dialogue was in Spanish, but I've translated it to English for clarity. Background. I'm female and Latina Scottish, but look Anglo. I lived and still live in the San Francisco Bay Area, and at the time I spoke and understood Spanish. Setting the year 1982, I was 12 and I went to a public middle school that was primarily Black, Hispanic, and Asian, not being racist. That's just what the story says. The sprinkling of other groups, this event took place before cell phones, the internet, school lockdowns, and zero tolerance. The players, PM for Psycho Mom, my friend PK for Poor Kid, I will be me, and my dad will be Dad. At this time, I was friends with this boy in my school. He was the skinny little nerdy kid. He was quiet, funny, nice and caring, but very, very introverted. I later found out why. Our art teacher assigned us as partners for a class project. Yeah, totally parents. Worth about 1/3 of our grade. Because it was a rather complicated project, we were expected to stay after school 3 times a week for an hour to work on the project. It was about 10 minutes before the hour was up. Me and PK were sitting at our table along with most of the other kids just working on their project, when the classroom door banged open and this short, heavyset Latina woman in her 40s with what we call crazy eyes comes charging in. This turned out to be my friend's mom, PM. PM looks frantically around the room, spots PK, rushes over, grabs PK by his shirt collar, yanks him off his chair, then pushes me off my chair onto my butt and screams. I don't know what to say for this, guys. I can't say this. Oh, I know what to say. Off my chair and pushes me off my chair onto my butt and screams, "Jerk! You're not going to ruin my boy with your crappy ways." Sorry, I had to say that. I can't get demonetized already. Everybody in the room froze. The teacher in charge had just stepped out of the room a few minutes before, so there was just a bunch of scared 12-year-olds. I had no idea what PM was talking about. I just sat there in shock, staring up at this crazy woman as PK was trying desperately to pull PM away from me and kept telling her over and over, "We were just study partners." He said this to her in Spanish. PM shoved him off and screamed again in Spanish, "Shut the F up, PK. I'm going to teach this little jerk a lesson." I saw her leg go back and knew she was going to kick me when I heard the most wonderful thong I ever heard in my life. "Hey, get the F away from my daughter!" It was my dad, who come to pick me up. He stormed over and quickly put himself between PM and me, making her back up a bit. PM seemed startled by my dad's appearance. My dad has very dark skin, eyes so dark brown they look black and extremely black, curly hair down his shoulders. I have red hair, green eyes, and a much lighter skin tone than my dad. Dad asked me if I was okay. I nodded, relieved my dad was there to keep this crazy jerk off me. Meantime, PM got over his initial surprise and was screaming in English this time, "Your kid's a effing jerk. She's keeping my boy here to steal his..." Oh, God, I can't say that. Oh, God. To steal... I'm just gonna... To make him mad. My dad looked at her like she's just sprouted a second head. Then I saw his eyes narrow to dangerous slits and his nostrils flare. Uh-oh. Here's some things you need to know about my dad. Oh gosh, I can't pronounce this. He's a different race, and at first glance, it doesn't look particularly scary at 5'7", wears glasses, and at the time only weighing about 150 pounds. But it was all muscle from working on cars. doing slash teaching. I don't want to say this wrong. It's going to make you feel mad. Okay, just teaching fighting techniques and did Chinese sword play. My dad was also young, just 15 when I was born, and his only child, making him 27 at the time this happened. He's usually a very friendly, calm, patient, and level-headed man. This kind of person who'd help a complete stranger change a tire or help an old woman with her groceries. He was a nice person. He was, or is, a nice person. Unless you threaten his daughter, then Dad, as most Latino fathers tend to do, went from nice person to fiercely protective Latin father. And heaven help the fool who laid hands on his little girl. PM was still screeching like a mad woman about how much of a jerk I was, when Dad got right in her face and snarled, "Call her a jerk one more time and you'll be choking to death on your own teeth, you crazy effing jerk." The expressions on Dad's face and the look in his eyes as he squared off with PM was one of pure rage. That would have stopped an attack dog. Think twice. Heck, it scared me and I wasn't even directed at me. The whole time this was happening, my poor friend looked like he wanted the earth to open up and swallow him. I felt so bad for him. A sane person having that look directed at them would have backed off, apologized, or just grabbed their kid and ran. A sane person. Instead of doing anything having to do with either logic or self-preservation. PM tried to shove my dad out of her way to get to me. There was no trace of sanity in PM's eyes as that jerk flung her leg out in an attempt to kick me. As she tried to push my dad, I think she'd have tried to strangle me if she got the chance. Dad never give her the chance. He pushed PM back hard and sent her crashing into the wall. PM hit the wall, bouncing off with an audible oof. She wobbled for a moment, then did the most I can't say that. Did the most stupid thing I've ever seen anyone do. She attacked my dad. Though not taller, PM was much bigger than my dad and knew how to throw a punch. However, my dad, who's been a scrapper all his life, plus did martial arts, blocked her and socked her in the jaw. This sent PM staggering, but she didn't go down. Dad later told me he'd pulled his punch, not because she was female, but because he feared he might break her full neck. But even this didn't stop her. PM ran to my dad. I think she was going for me again, but I'm not sure. Dad, having more than enough of PM and her crazy, punched her square in the face, and this time, he didn't hold back. PM dropped like a big sack of potatoes, out cold. Her nose looked like a stepped-on tomato. PK never attempted to help his mom, or even went near her when my dad dropped her. By now, the principal and 2 teachers came running in. Some classmates ran for help, but I was too focused on PM and my dad to notice. But it was all over. The whole thing only took minutes, but felt like forever to me. Cops were called, and PM ended up cuffed in a squad car. Tried to play the victim card. Dad had broken her nose, 1 cheekbone, and broke 3 of her teeth, claiming she was only protecting her boy. Sob whimper. She failed miserably because A, she attacked a 12-year-old girl she didn't even know. B, several witnesses, my classmates, saw her do it, confirming my dad was acting in defense both himself and me when he knocked her lights out. It helped she was bigger than my dad. C, she had a lengthy police record for property damage, resisting arrest, and assault, mostly on young females. Go figure. and always claiming she was protecting her boy. I found out I wasn't the first girl she'd attacked in order to protect her boy. It didn't help her case that she kept referring to little jerks like her and pointing at me while they were questioning her. We pressed charges and PM went to jail. She pled no contest, and overwhelming evidence. Wow, she actually did that and got 9 months. 9 lousy months for attacking me and my dad in a classroom full of kids. Yay, 1982. PK went to live with his parental aunt and uncle. I found out later PM had been beating my friend, had gotten the father out of the picture by claiming he'd been abusing PK. Not true. But in the 80s, they always believed the mom. Luckily, by the time she got out, PK was gone. His aunt and uncle, after getting full custody, sold their home, packed up, and moved out of state. PK never saw his mom again. I heard from him many years later. He told me PM got committed to a mental hospital 6 months after she got out of jail. She went to the social service office and trashed the place when they wouldn't tell her where her son was. And as far as I know, she's still there, if she's still alive. PK had to get years of therapy to deal with what his mom had done to him, but he did manage to reconnect with his father. PK tried to apologize to me for what happened, told him it wasn't his fault, and he asked me to thank my dad for punching his mom out. My friend's mom accuses me of what her son's... Okay, whatever, you guys know what it says. Attacks me in the classroom, my dad intervenes, ends up punching her out. Wow, guys, that was a good story. Well, that's what she gets. Honestly, this is probably close to a pro revenge. She tried to attack the daughter for doing nothing, and she got what she deserved. I mean, parents are like this. They're protective for the other person doing nothing. They're just stupid like that. I really do hope she never gets to see her son again. Not trying to be rude, YouTube. Well, guys, that's gonna be it. I hope you guys enjoyed getting annoyed and frustrated at entitled parents and entitled parents, honestly. I was going to say entitled kids, but I realized there's no entitled kids in the story. Isn't that just a good thing? Well, I hope you guys enjoyed. Get ready for episode 2 coming out later today or tomorrow. I'll see you guys soon. Have a great day.